Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I hope that you're well. I thought we could go ahead and do a full phase of first impressions and just play with all the makeup that I talked about purchasing in my most recent haul, which I'll make sure to link down below for y'all in case you haven't seen it yet. But I just picked up a bunch of makeup from Sephora and Ulta and I figured we could go ahead and play with it today. I don't know why this morning I'm feeling like really anxious for no reason, but hopefully just getting ready, putting on some cute makeup will help me feel a little bit better. I think like part of it is that I want to go Christmas shopping like for like a few last minute things, but then also at the same time like I know it's going to be so crowded and busy that like I don't know what to do, but maybe once I do my makeup I'll feel better. So let's just go ahead and start off with the Summer Fridays Shade Drops Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Mineral Milk Sunscreen. So this was recommended to me to try. And okay, it does say you need to shake well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add some sunscreen. I'm gonna do my best to like not hit this spot right here because there's a little bit of open skin. Basically had like a full planet on my face right now, but it's fine. It's human with a generous amount. It has like a very natural sunscreen smell to it. It doesn't smell like beachy or anything. It reminds me of some other product, but I can't put my finger on what it is. I'm gonna go in with some of like my base layer stuff. So I've got a under eye corrector, and then I've also got a concealer that I want to use for spot concealing. So that was so loud. That was just unnecessary. I guess it's just the glass on the glass sound. But anyways, I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox X Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Fair Light. Just gonna use a little bit of that. Little goes a long way, and just focus that on the inner portion underneath my eyes. Just trying to cover up my circles. And then I also have the Rem Beauty Sweetener Concealer in the shade Fair 6N. And I'm just gonna use some of that to spot conceal pretty much anywhere I'm breaking out right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some on my chin right here. I am so happy with the color of this concealer. Like I feel like it could not be a better match basically everywhere because my skin is just not having it right now. So I'm not going to worry about blending that in too much. I'm kind of just going to let it sit for a second and we can kind of go back and forth. I just feel like that's like the best way to get maximum coverage, especially when you're trying to actually like hide something and not just add a little bit of concealer. So I don't know. I'm like, what should I even do right now? I don't know. We'll take a water break. So for foundation today, I'm going to be trying out the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Nude Glow Color Correcting Medium Coverage Skin Tint plus Brightening Glow Serum plus Broad Spectrum SPF 40 Sunscreen. I don't know what it is about IT Cosmetics and just like this need to have such long names. Okay, it's like literally doing the smallest little baby pumps. What the heck? I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, so I think that's like about like one normal size pump. It was like coming out in like little spurts. So I'm just gonna take a Tarte foundation brush I have. They don't sell this anymore. It's from forever ago, but just throwing that all over my skin. Might actually be a little bit light for me. But just gonna tap that in. The one thing I don't love about this foundation on first application, or I mean I kind of already knew just from swatching it as well, is that it has such a strong like beachy sunscreen smell. It's just very intense. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that in all over. I mean, I feel like it has a pretty glow to it. I almost like just really want to try this mixed in with the Your Skin But Better CC Cream in the shade Fair. I feel like the two together might be my perfect shade and it might be a pretty consistency. It's interesting because that one is like actually considered a CC plus cream, and like this one I know it says CC plus 2, but like the other one they didn't advertise as a foundation, and this one they like actually say is a foundation, but I feel like it has less coverage. It is really pretty, blended in fast, has a really beautiful glow, which is what I was expecting, because when I swatched it on my hand in store, I was like, wow, that's such a pretty glow. Honestly, even getting super close to my mirror, it looks pretty much undetectable on the skin, so that's really, really nice. I think I am going to go back in with some more of the Rem Beauty concealer just for a little bit of extra coverage. Mostly just right here. I think that's about all I needed. And then I guess technically I could try out the Rem Beauty concealer underneath my eyes, and I probably will do that eventually. But today I'm going to go ahead and go in with the NARS Chantilly concealer, which I have not bought in years. I've not used in so long, so I'm kind of excited about it because I feel like I used to love it, and we'll see if I love it again. So I'm just going to take a little bit right here, and then I'm just grabbing my Anissa Beauty concealer brush and just gonna blend that in with really light tapping motions, focusing on the inner corner and then going out from there. I mean, that does look pretty, very bright, but I'm like, is it the NARS concealer or is it the concealer with the corrector? Because I haven't used corrector in a while either. So, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty happy with how the base products turned out. All the color matches were on point, but I guess that's what happens when you actually go in store. I am gonna grab some powder just to set some of the spots I concealed because I did go in with a few layers. So I'm just gonna use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh, why is that a tongue twister right now? The Pretty Fresh Pressed Face Powder in the shade Fair 1, and a little Sigma brush, just picking up a touch, and I'm gonna just set right here mostly. I guess whatever's left over on the brush, I'm lightly setting underneath my eyes, but I'm not really going in with any extra powder for that area. I tend not to. I just don't really like setting underneath my eyes. I'd honestly rather, like, even if the concealer creases a little bit, I'd rather just like tap it out in the moment than like have that like creasy powdery look. So now let's go ahead and try out the blush. So I have the why can I not speak today? I have the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush in the shade Pink. And here is what it looks like. So many of y'all were like, come on, like, why didn't you just buy indie blushes? And like, I get it, but I just wanted to try something different, and it looked so pretty online. But if you guys would like a video, like indie blushes that give the same vibe as the Dior blush, just let me know, because I can definitely look through my collection and try to find like the things that are closest. I feel like some of y'all are roasting me a little bit, like the Dior blush isn't even special, but I don't know, I just saw it and I added it into my cart. So I'm just gonna grab some on a Alamar brush. This is the Complexion brush that I literally use for everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw a little bit on. Ooh, okay. I feel like that looks so beautiful. Like, it's such a pretty, like, fresh shade of pink. It looks so, like, natural on the skin. And I feel like even though it is very pale, it actually is not having to like be built up a ton. It's kind of just showing up immediately. So beautiful. Now we're gonna go ahead and try out the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Enlighten. I'm really excited about this because at first look, when I saw it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna love this texture, but when I swatched it out, I thought it looked so gorgeous. So I'm hoping that it looks just as gorgeous on the cheeks. I'll probably go in with the big Sigma brush that I was using before, this tapered highlighter brush, just because I kind of want it to be glowy but also diffused, and I don't want it to be like too intense. So I'm just gonna pick up a little tiny bit and place that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very glowy highlight. Just gonna place it on the tops of my cheekbones and then kind of go back and forth, blending that into the blush. Yeah, it's really pretty. Okay, another just tiny little tap for my nose. And I mean, you guys can see I'm going in with like the smallest amount, but if you love a really intense highlighter, I feel like you could definitely get it with this, because I am not being generous at all with this color, and it's still just giving such a pretty glow. Okay, I am also just because this is what I like to do. I'm gonna go back over that with my blush brush. This is kind of off topic, but I was just thinking about blush. I purchased every single shade of the Melt Cream blush lights. I've been talking about doing that for a while. I only own 2 shades, but I'm obsessed with the formula. It's literally the best cream blush I've ever used. And they had a Black Friday sale that if you spent more than $100, you got like 40% off your order or something like that. So I got all the blushes for like $14 each. And I got all the shades that I don't own already, and I kind of want to do like a huge swatch video, so you guys can let me know if you're interested in that. But I don't know, I've been debating for a while, and like there's been a few sales where it was like 25% off, 30% off, and I was like, let me wait a little bit longer, and I feel like I got a really good deal, so I'm so excited. I don't know when it's gonna ship or anything. I haven't gotten a shipping notification, but it's just the best cream blushes. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and try out the Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, which looks so beautiful. I am gonna prime my eyes first just with some Alter Ego eyeshadow base. It's just a very simple, see-through, transparent base. Nothing special. Just whatever you have will work if you're trying to recreate this at home. And honestly, it kind of does a better job if you blend it in with your fingers, but I just use the brush because I'm lazy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to do some swatches with y'all real quick. I feel like it's been forever since we swatched out a palette. Well, I guess we actually did do the Teresa is Lethal palette. Or is it the Lethal is Dead palette? I can't remember. They're both such similar names and they're both like the same concept, but both so cute. I can't remember which was the second one, but anyways, that's the only palette we've swatched in a long time, so let's go ahead and swatch this out. Okay, so first we have Flare, which looks like a pretty kind of mauve-y deep pink. We've got Jazzy, which is a cool tone brown. It's kind of like a satin, but it has like a creamy texture to it. We've got Oscar, which looks like such a pretty taupe. I'm all about it. And then we've got Evergreen, which is another like satiny matte shade. It just has like a slight sheen to it, but it feels very, very creamy. Ooh, that's so soft and pretty. Okay, next we've got Marlin, which is a beautiful green shimmer. Like that is just stunning. It kind of reminds me of one of the shades in the Pastel Glam. Is that what it was called? Palette from Natasha Denona? The pastel palette she came out with, but this one looks even prettier. We've got Maxi, which is a kind of gray mid-tone shimmer. We've got Sage, which is like the first true matte, I would say, kind of a mid-tone, minty, sagey green. And then we've got Holly, which is a pinky beige, really light pastel. So cute. It's funny because I told y'all that I went to purchase the like favorites palette from Natasha Denona because I thought it was really pretty, and they canceled my order because I was shipping it to a PO box, and it was kind of annoying, and I ended up not repurchasing it or like purchasing it again to like actually have it after they canceled. And when I was in Sephora in store, I saw the Retro Glam next to the favorites one, and I was like, the Retro Glam is so much prettier. So I'm actually glad that I ended up having this one and not the other one. And then next we've got Fringe, which is a really pretty kind of soft like pastel sagey green. We've got Faye. Ooh, that's such a nice cool tone brown, like gray, almost has like a little bit of a green undertone. I love that. And then we've got Flutter, which is a more like sparkly, chunky, champagne-y shimmer. I feel like this color story is just like speaking to my heart right now. All right, so lastly, we've got Lucy, which is another kind of cool toned matte. This one's a little bit lighter, has less green in it. We've got Palladian, which is a, I don't know, I would say like a silvery satin shade. I feel like that's actually going to add some really pretty like brightness to looks and kind of stand out. We've got Belle, like a rosy shade, but it's not super bright. And then lastly, we have Oz, which is a satiny kind of deeper green. Again, so pretty. So there is the entire palette swatched out. I think it looks beautiful. Like, come on, it's so pretty. I love the color story. There's what it looks like up close. I'm not going to add in videos from my phone just because there are no duochromes or multichromes. Just pointing that out. Pretty much every color that you see is what you get. All right, so I zoomed you guys in a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw these eyeshadows on. So I think I'm gonna start off with the shade Lucy and then use the shade Faye, just because those two mattes were really calling to me. So I'm taking Lucy on a big fluffy blending brush from BK Beauty and just throwing that through my crease. It is a very pale shade, but just gonna go ahead and build it up a little bit. I do like the undertone. It is a little bit grungy. There's something on my face. Okay, so I'm grabbing Faye on a slightly smaller blending brush from Sigma, and I'm just gonna start that off in my outer V, and then also a little bit through my crease. And I would say it's blending pretty well. I wasn't that impressed with the pastel palette from Natasha Denona, so I'm hoping that this one has a little bit more going for it. It's not even that it was like a terrible palette, I just feel like it wasn't worth the price. And these midi palettes are going up. I think they used to be $65 and now they're $69. All right, so I feel like that blended out pretty well. I'm gonna go into one deeper shade. I'm just gonna take a pretty small brush. This is from BK Beauty and Angie and Han Flashy, the A504, just a tiny little baby crease brush. And I think I'm gonna go into that like cool tone brown shade that we swatched, Jazzy. Just picking up a little bit of that, and I'm gonna pop that into the outer V just to add a little bit more depth to this look. Okay, I definitely got some fallout from that. So I would beware. I'm gonna wipe off, or not wipe off, I'm gonna tap off my brush now using it because I didn't realize it would have fallout because it is really creamy to the touch. I did see Angie's video on this palette and her review, and she mentioned, ooh, look at all that fallout, that's crazy. But she mentioned that it didn't have like the greatest deepening options, and I could totally see that. I could see wanting to go into other palettes to deepen up the looks with this palette, but I loved the color story so much that I still wanted to go ahead and give it a go. I wish that shimmer didn't have so much fallout. I feel like it should be easier to work with. I'm gonna go back into the second brush that I used just over top of that. And then I think I'm gonna go into the shade Oz on my lower lash line just because it looks so cute. I'm gonna pop that along the entire thing, giving us a little pop of green. Just going from inner corner to the outer corner. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off that brush, and then for my inner corner, I'm gonna go into the light silver shade. I just feel like that's gonna be so cute. It just has such a nice brightness to it, so I'm gonna pop it right here. And then I'll probably take some of that like up into the lid a little bit. And then also connecting to the lower lash line as well. I love a pop of silver on the inner corner like this. With all these other colors, I feel like it's just, I don't know, it's cool. Okay, so I'm mostly happy with that. I might go back in with my previous brush and just lightly go over the crease right here. but I think we're ready for the lid shade. And I am gonna do a pop of color because I can't resist this shade right here called Marlin. That green just swatched so, so pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with my finger and just pop that all over the lid. Oh, the tone, so beautiful. I mean, I would say that overall, I'm really liking this palette. Like, I feel like it's soft and cute and kind of a different fun color story. I love like the sagey greens and the cool tone browns, the pop of silver, the pop of pink. And then for mascara, I told y'all I wanted to try out this Essence Last Princess mascara because I've heard such good things, but apparently this isn't even like the most popular one. I actually did look on Ulta when I was linking this, and I realized that the green one has like 6,000 reviews and this one has like a few hundred. So slight fail, but I mean, it was a really affordable mascara. Here's what the wand looks like. Let's just go ahead and try it. It's funny because I feel like it actually looks really similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, which I don't love, and I'm trying to find a replacement that's affordable. I mean, I guess that actually might look a little bit better than the L'Oreal one. I will say I do like that it's like really evenly distributing the mascara. Like, I feel like it does not look clumpy at all. Okay, I don't have anything new to try for lips, but I pulled out the Alamar Encanto lips gloss in the shade Dímelo Cantando, which I think is going to be super, super cute because it's kind of like the mauve tone, and I don't know, I think it's going to go with everything else. Alright y'all, so this is the finished look and I love how it turned out. I feel like the eyeshadow palette is so cute, and on first impression the quality does seem good, but I definitely need to play with it more. So let me know if you want to see looks with it or just a review in the future. And then as far as all of the base makeup goes, I feel like the foundation looks really pretty. The color of the blush I actually love. Like, I'm super, super happy with it. I thought it was going to be a little bit more glowy, but even though it isn't, I think it looks so, so pretty. The highlighter looks really nice. I think it does emphasize the texture on my cheeks just a little bit, but overall I still think it's a pretty glow and I really like the tone of it. And then the concealers, I feel like the under eye brightener, everything looks really, really nice. It all looks really natural on the skin in person. And then the mascara, I think, looks really, really good too. Not bad at all for a $5 mascara. And then lastly, the sunscreen drops. I don't really have any thoughts on. My foundation had no issues applying over it. It didn't smell weird. So, I mean, I'll just keep using it every day and see how I end up feeling. But yeah, that is everything for this full face of first impressions. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.